Hello theater makers! In this video, we're gonna talk about the silent killer plaguing shows across the globe. But don't worry, we're also gonna talk about how you can stop it from attacking your show. I'm Melissa Ordaz, and this is the Empty Space Artistry channel, where we educate and inspire fellow artists, as well as entertain and pull back the proverbial backstage curtain for theater lovers everywhere. Buckle up, let's go. So I want you to take a second and imagine that you are going to see a show. And as you're watching, you are captivated. The acting is engaging and truthful. The direction has been clearly thought out. All of the creative elements are working together. The sets, props, costumes clearly took months to design and put together. Maybe there's a big musical number even that really has you clapping your hands. You are enjoying yourself. You're leaning in, and then this happens. And in this blackout, crew members scurry onto the stage and efficiently start changing the scenery. But the person next to you, they've already pulled out their phone. And your mind starts to wander as well. Maybe to things that happened earlier in the day, or maybe to what you will have for dessert after the show. Is that just me? You're contemplating these things as the lights come back on and the show roars to life again. Now imagine that you are the director of this show. You excitedly watch as the audience sees your show for the very first time. They're leaning forward, they're clapping their hands, they are engaged. You have spent months and months putting this together, and it is paying off. When suddenly, in the space of that one blackout, that one transition, which you may have painstakingly rehearsed to take 30 seconds or less, but in that 30 seconds, all of the momentum that you built up in that first scene is suddenly lost. Because remember, in theater, we are trying to help keep the audience present in this moment. That's what's so exciting about it, is a room full of people all having this shared experience, not looking at their phones, not thinking about what happened earlier or what they're gonna do after the show, but here, now, in this moment. We work so hard to eliminate any distractions, to pull them in and keep them invested and interested, just to give them a while we change the set. And transition after transition, it slowly and silently kills our shows. And the truth is, it's really not our fault. It's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's not our fault. It seems like an industry standard to utilize a blackout during a transition. That even seems like what playwrights are asking us to do in so many shows, right? At the end of one scene, end of scene, music, lights fade. Turn the page, the next direction reads, music fades, the lights fade up on a new scene. Not to mention that these changes often seem impossible if you don't have a Broadway-sized budget. How am I gonna get from a residential country farmhouse to a huge skyscraper in New York City in that 15-second interlude? How? You tell me. It feels impossible. But imagine if that energy, that momentum that you so carefully crafted in scene one wouldn't just deflate during the transition in between scenes, but could actually grow and continue to build into scene two, and even more so into scene three, and just snowball, 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 continuing to build until the end of the act. Here is the mind shift that you need in order to make that happen. Instead of thinking of the transitions as outside of the story, think of them as the central glue that holds the pieces of the story together. They're not an inconvenience, they're an opportunity. Let me say it again. They're not an inconvenience, they are a great opportunity. It can sometimes be really easy to view transitions as inconveniences because they present huge challenges sometimes. Or quite frankly, sometimes we put all of our time and creativity into the scenes themselves, and the transitions kind of become an afterthought. But audiences are so smart, and as soon as they sense that the storytelling has stopped, they disengage. But if we view the transitions as opportunities, that opens so many more doors. They're opportunities for little moments or encounters that are unique to your storytelling and your specific production. Not only that, but playwrights put the scenes of their show in a specific order for a reason. And part of your job as the director is to figure out why. Figure out why one scene propels into the next. And that is a great launching point for crafting your transitions. Okay, so how do we do this? How do we make the most out of our transitions? Well, don't plan them last, plan them first. Personally, when I'm directing a show, transitions are one of the first things I look at because I want to get ahead of whatever quote unquote problems they're going to present and figure out interesting solutions and make sure that that is something I build my production around. 3 great ways to make the most of your transitions is to 1, use actors. The way different characters pick up or handle props or sets can actually say a lot about their character or can create little charming moments or comedic moments. Utilizing a company of actors moving and shifting sets around can create a sort of dance that can be very beautiful in and of itself. A second way to do this is to pull focus. So maybe you have one or a few of your characters who you pull down stage center or off to one of the sides, and you really shine a spotlight on them. You let them have a little bit of moment while the props and sets are being moved behind them. And a third way to do this is to have a set that's minimalistic or even a unit set. A unit set is a set that stays in place the whole time. It's not going to move on and off. Pieces may move on and off, but generally the set stays in place. And really think about this, because I know sometimes for big musicals, you want to have all of the things that maybe people are expecting to see or that they know from the Broadway production. But think about it. Is having all of those big sets really worth the momentum and the energy that you're going to lose every time you have to black out or close the curtain to change it on and off? It might not be worth it in the end. Now, for all of these things, keep in mind that you can't add dialogue or create moments that are going to change the storyline in some way, but they can just be little moments, little nuggets that help us get to know the characters a little bit more. You don't want to dawdle with these moments or make them overly long, but allow the audience and yourselves to enjoy the journey of changing from one scene to the next. And as a last note, I am not saying that blackouts are intrinsically bad. They definitely have their place, but they are a choice, not a default. So just as you're making intentional choices for your scenes, make sure that you're making intentional choices for your transitions. So there you have it, the silent killer of shows and how to stop it from attacking yours. This is one of my favorite topics, and I would love to hear about transitions in the comments below. So what transitions have you seen that you loved? Or how have you creatively solved problematic transitions? Or what problems are you still facing with your transitions? We want to hear about them. Comment below. If you want to help me keep making content like this, then please do me a big favor and hit that subscribe button. Subscribe! No, but seriously, subscribe. Good luck on your theater making journey, and if you want more tips like these, then check out this video.